welcome back to my channel. Today is day 10 of my 12-day Christmas special. In this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step a very in-depth tutorial on how to do polygel nails. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. Okay, you guys, to jump right into this video, step 1 is the polygel application. So I go and I put my polygel directly down the center of my nail tip. I cannot tell you how much I'm using because I have no way of measuring it. So if you can kind of get a visual to see how much you need, then that would be great. I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can, but for the most part, I want you guys to watch because I feel like it can, just explain itself better without me talking over it. But anyways, I like to go in and start with my cuticle first. I know some people start from the bottom. I don't like to do that. I like to get the cuticle out of the way. So I just use the body of the polygel brush and I just kind of pat it towards the cuticle area. What I love about the polygel is you don't have to work really fast because it's not going anywhere. It's not like acrylic and it's not like builder gel. It's going to stay put. So take your time. You don't have to rush. I'm doing this in real time so you guys can see how long it actually takes. If you notice what I just did, I flattened the polygel out all the way down the nail and kind of pushed it to both sides just to even it out. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to have to drag the polygel from the center all the way to one side and from the center to the other side. So it's easier if you just flatten it out. What I'm doing here is just filling in the sides. You don't want a whole lot of polygel to be on the sides of your nails because that's how it gets thick. What I do is right here, I lightly pull the polygel down, very thin layer. I'm not pulling a whole bunch. I'm literally pulling enough just to cover the nail, if that makes sense. Once I've gotten the whole nail covered, I like to dip my brush in the solution to make sure it's enough up there, and then I start to work on the top. What I'm doing here is lightly, very lightly dragging my brush to just smooth out the top and drag all the excess polygel to the bottom of the nail. Once I've done that, I take my finger, you could take the spatula end of a brush, of a polygel brush, and scoop off the excess polygel, and that's it. If your nail tip is not perfectly straight and it has lumps and stuff, don't worry about it. That's when the filing and the buffing comes into play. I'm going to show you guys again with another tip, just so you can get a better visual if you did not get it the first time. Also, what I didn't explain to you guys on the first nail tip is when I'm applying my polygel, I start off with a little bit more polygel and end up with a little bit less at the bottom. And the reason I do this is because I'm working my way from the top to the bottom. So the polygel is gonna get to the bottom of the nail. So if I have a whole lot down there to begin with, it's just gonna be a ton of polygel that I'm wasting, and this stuff can be expensive, so I don't want to waste it. This is what I was talking about earlier about going down and flattening the polygel so that it goes to both sides evenly. What I'm doing here is what I mean. I know it looks like there's not a lot of polygel in the middle, but that's because that's where my putty is and you can see through it, so it looks like it's thin, but it's not. I can assure you it is the same as the rest of the nail. Also, when I got to the bottom of the nail here, I'm flattening it upwards, not downwards, because I don't want it to go over the free edge. And see, I flatten it and I have gaps a little bit on the side, and what I do is like pat it down a little bit and then I drag the polygel down just to cover the sides. I know it looks like I have little to no polygel on the sides of these nails, and I really do. And that's because you want to keep the shape of your nail. When I first started doing these, I would flood the sides of the nails. Like I gotta have enough polygel on the sides. You do not. You're gonna lose the shape of your nail. They're gonna be extremely wide and they're gonna look thick. So trust me, just feathering down the polygel to fill in those sides is all you need to do. Alright, so now that I have the nail fully covered with polygel, I just dip my brush back in my alcohol, make sure that I have enough on it, and I begin to smooth down the top and smooth the sides as well. Drag all the excess down, and when I tell you to be very light when dragging, please be very light because it takes absolutely no pressure to pull this polygel off of these nails. Like, feather it. That's the best way I can tell you, like, feather it. For this particular nail, I guess I put the perfect amount of polygel because I had almost no extra coming off the ends. That doesn't usually happen. Sometimes, majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, I have extra coming off the bottom, but this time I did not, but I still took my finger and went down just to square off the bottom of my nail. I'm gonna show you once more doing this on another tip, but while that's playing, I'm gonna tell you some do's and don'ts and about some of the polygels that I've used and that I have experience with. So some mistakes that I've made when I first started working with this polygel was having too much liquid on my brush. Yes, you can have too much slip solution, alcohol, whatever you're using, you can have too much. And what'll happen is if you're using a nail stand and you have the putty on the bottom, the liquid runs and it goes under the nail, it loosens the putty, and now your nail is going to fall off. And that's bad because you can't pick up the nail because it's polygel. Like, you're going to smash it. So I've messed up a ton of times doing that in the beginning. So I was like, you know what? Dip my brush in here, wipe both sides, and that's enough liquid. Another thing is you'll know if you don't have enough slip solution on your brush because it will begin to stick to the polygel. If ever you're working with this and your brush starts getting stuck, you know you need to dip in the solution. Do not keep going. You don't want to end up with tons of polygel in your brush. Speaking of brushes, that's something else that I had to learn to work with. I do not use the typical polygel brush that they give you if you buy a polygel kit, like the one with the spatula at the end and then has a small brush on the other end. Smaller brushes do not work well for me. I noticed that I can cover a lot more ground, I can smooth better. Everything is better with a slightly bigger brush. This brush I'm using here, I got from Amazon. I just typed in polygel brushes. You know, a ton of the ones I don't like popped up, but these popped up as well. So if you want to try this brush, I will leave the link in the description box and you can go and check it out. Sometimes it's not really the technique. Sometimes it's the tools that you're using. So if one brush isn't working for you, try a different one. Now on to the polygels that I have used that I know work really well. I use the SXC Amazon brand polygel, which is one of the ones that I'm using in this video today. It came with a polygel kit that I bought way back when I was trying dual forms. But this polygel works really well. It's not hard. And even if your polygel is hard, I do believe you can like put it in some hot water for a few minutes and it'll loosen it up. But anyways, SXC is the brand that I'm using right now. I also have tried the Rosalind brand, And I just ordered a ton of Polygel today, so I'll be doing some reviews on them, on the different types, in another video real soon. But Rosalind, I think that's how you pronounce it. That's a good brand. Also, Macard, that's one of my favorites. I use in majority of my Polygel videos. And the Beatles brand. All of these are on Amazon. I will leave them linked below in case you want to try any of them. So, just try different things and figure out what you like. That's what I do when I first started out. I didn't have a ton of Polygel. I still don't, but I had to try and figure out what works best. And these 4 brands that I just listed work pretty good. I would say they're beginner friendly because I'm a beginner and they do great with me. So really quickly, I wanted to show you here, I had a bubble in my gel, and you can't really see it, but you can kind of see it, but there's a hole in there. So what I do when I get a hole or a bubble, I go ahead and bust the bubble because it's not going to make the nail any better. Like if I was to cure it with that bubble there, the minute I start filing, there's going to be a hole in my nail. And I'm going to have to go back and try to fill it, and it's just going to be too much. So if you get a bubble, go ahead and get rid of it. Just bust it like I did, and then smooth the Polygel over it, either up or down, however you need to fill it in. Go ahead and get it done. Alright, well, on to step 2, and you're going to want to cleanse your nails. After you have cured for at least 60 seconds, you're going to want to get an alcohol prep pad, and you're going to want to clean all the tackiness off of your nails. And also you're going to want to clean under the nails as well, because sometimes the slip solution can run under there and it can be sticky as well. The reason you want to clean your nails is because when you start to file and buff, if the tacky layer is still up there, it's gonna create a mess. Like the grit from the file is gonna be sticking to your nail. Sure, it'll come off if you keep filing, but this will eliminate all of that. So please Do not skip this step. It is important. Make sure you clean your nails. Step 3 is your filing and buffing process. So this is a particular file that I use. It's a 100 by 180 grit, and I got it from my local nail supply store. It doesn't really matter what file you use, in my opinion, just as long as it works good. Mine is a little dull, but I'm still going to use it. That's a newer one that I have. I have tons of these. So when I start my filing process, I like to start with the sides, and I go ahead and make them straight as I want, and then I begin to work on the middle of the nail. Let me tell you this, it does not take a lot to put a dent or an indentation in polygel nails. So please, when you're filing, do not file in one spot for too long. What I like to do is start from the edge of the nail and file and move the file towards the center of the nail. I do not just file right there in one spot, because you will make your nail uneven, trust me. And the reason why I like to do like this rocking motion is to keep the curve of the nail as I'm filing, to get it the exact shape that I want. Once I've done one side, from the side to the center, I flip the nail around like this, and I start doing the other side from the side to the center. And that's how I achieve my perfect shape. When you see me running my finger along the top of the nail, I'm just checking to make sure that there's no indentions or any bumps on the nail. It's the best way to see if your nails are smooth or not, other than visually seeing it. You can feel any lump if you run your hand across the top. Once I'm done filing, I like to turn my nail, and sometimes under the nail a little bit could be some extra polygel. You just hold your file flat and you file that away. And this is what it looks like. Turn it to the side, up, down, whatever. Make sure it's how you want it, and then you work on the free edge. I like to hold my file like this. You can hold yours like this. Either way, make sure that that nail is crisp. You want it completely straight if you're working with square or like ballerina, not stiletto, of course, because you don't want a flat end to that. But this is what it should end up looking like, and I'm going to show you again, speed it up a little bit for you guys, let you watch how I do the next nail. And quick side note before I go, yes, I do have an e-file. I just bought one not too long ago. It is the Melody Susie, and it is absolutely great. Why am I not using it? Because I am extremely heavy-handed with the e-file. I have not learned to be gentle with it yet, and I don't want to mess up my nails. Also, I'm really great at filing with a hand file. Like, it's what I've been doing since I was young, and I'm really good at it. It's fast, and I love it. I actually love it more than the e-file right now, but maybe that'll change. But for right now, this is my way of doing it. I forgot to buff the first nail, but I did go back and do it. Buffing is essential because it gives that nail that extra smoothness. The file can leave it a little rough on the top, and the buffer just smooths it right out. So please don't be like me and forget that step. Please do not forget the filing and buffing process, because trust me, it can make or break a nail set. Step 4 is the pre-design prep. The pre-design prep of your polygel nails consists of nothing more than just putting top coat over your nails. This is an important step because if you put gel polish directly over the polygel, it's going to bleed a little bit. This is a design that I did the other day, and if you can tell, my lines bled, my lights bled, and it just was not a good look. So to keep that from happening, you need to seal in your polygel, and then you can do your design over the top. Now, if you're doing a full nail, like a solid color over the whole nail, you won't need top coat. That's why I'm not putting it over my pinky nail. I could, if that's just what you want to do, but you don't have to. So please keep that in mind before you move on to starting your design. And finally, step 5 is the design. The design that I'm doing today is a really simple Christmas tree design, of course, in the spirit of Christmas. And you can do whatever design you want, of course, but I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm not going to walk you through what I'm doing because you can see it. I just want you to sit back and relax. This is the part where you just chill out, listen to the music and enjoy what I'm doing. So here is the finished result. I love these nails. I think they're super simple and Christmassy. I love the reflective glitter gel. It's just absolutely gorgeous. If you have made it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you got what you were looking for from this video. If there's anything that I missed or any questions that you may have, please feel free to leave me a comment, ask me anything you want, and I will answer your questions as soon as I possibly can. I thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Please tune in tomorrow for day 11 of my 12-day Christmas special. We're almost done, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.